unexpectedly brought me to you. Visions that cut through the cold to my heart.
Running right the way down the back of our accommodation, you know, our big posh Airbnb, is a river. It's called the River Ear. It starts about 6 miles away from here in a muddy pool, just a bit north of Cark. You might have heard of Cark. They have a race course where they do the horse racing. And apparently, according to Mrs. Bimble, it's where sticky toffee pudding comes from. It's where it was invented. I don't know whether we'll get to try that though. I'll try my best for you, Bimblers. The river flows right through the centre of Cark, round the back of our Airbnb, and round the back of the Engine Inn pub, which does a rather nice burger. And it eventually fights its way into the River Leven, which is the river that comes from Lake Windermere. We're off to Lake Windermere today, on a steam train. Yes. It's definitely going to happen, Bimblers. To get into the River Leven here at Cark, it has to fight its way through some marshland. The same marshland that's all over Morecambe Bay. Right from Knott End near Fleetwood to Broughton in Furness. It's the same marshland you see at the front of Heysham Power Station or at Silverdale. There are thought to be 2 possible origins for the name Ear. It could come from the Vikings, the name Ear for eels. But me and my niece Phoebe have been looking in this river for fishes every night this week. And we haven't seen one. We've seen some ducks. And we've played poo sticks, but we haven't seen a fish yet, never mind an eel. The other option is that it comes from Old English, the word ear, meaning river. So this is the River. I told you yesterday about some curiously listed bridges. Well, they go over the River Ear. There's 5 stone bridges, 4 of which are Grade 2 listed, all at the back of the Engine Inn pub. Anyway, let's stop messing about and let's rally the troops. We're going on a steam train, Bimblers. To an aquarium. Molly's gonna burst.
Alright, I'll see you shortly. Cheers now. Bye-bye.
Well, good morning, folks. We'll shortly be arriving in Lakeside. Change here for the Lakes Aquarium, the ferry over to Felfoot, and your steamer sailings up to Bowness and onto Ambleside.
Look at me, you're A shark!
A shark, a nice little shark.
Yeah!
What about you? Molly, what are you hoping to see? Bubbles.
Bubbles!
Bubble.
Bubble!
I dig it.
A piranha and a shark. They're really cute. Oh yeah, they're so cute. Piranhas and sharks are adorable.
It's a fishy. It's a fishy, Molly. Sausages.
Sausages.
Water sausages.
And it's just had a swim.
The big blue house. I like that video.
Take that, Mrs. Bimble. We seen otters.
My heart, as if this was love that I felt, falling for somebody else, taking my eyes from the ground, turning my heart upside down, as if this could change all the past, fixing the bruise from the last time that I felt anything. As if this was love that I felt, as if this was somebody else. Brought out some colourful sparks, brought back to light from the dark, broke out in shimmering waves to my heart. Sepia tint but the same.
Hello.
Put your clean t-shirt on when you've had your ice cream. It's your mugs, aren't you?
Or raspberry cone with the vanilla and the vanilla ones over there. Oh, thank you.
Butterfly! Hiya! Oh!
We like going on the steam train so much. We're going to Windermere again today on the steam train. Only we're not going to an aquarium today. We're going on a boat. It's perfect for me, this Bimblers. Molly, what you doing?
Very cute. Back at the way.
You're going the wrong way.
Maybe too far.
Go on.
Whee! No, fly the fly! Try. Only you in the middle.
Nope.
This side. Oh, let me go like that. Yeah. Whee!
Nearly. A goggy uggy ug. Glagalangan. Row, row, row your boat gently down Lake Windermere. Merrily, 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 merrily. Something that rhymes with Windermere.
Souvenir guides available on the T-bar and ticket collector for just £2.
This cruise boring, Phoebe.
Watching a cartoon.
We've got to keep walking around Bimblers because she's doing her nuts. She doesn't like sitting down at all.
Cruises, I'd like to welcome you on board the motor vessel Swan. Please. Sir John Fisher until his death in 1983. Upon the outbreak of World War II, he was appointed to the Ministry of War Transport and European. Holiday park disguised.
What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Oggy. I know it's full of oggies on here, isn't it? There's loads of oggies. Oggy. Another one. Hey, Oggy. Them lot have all gone to that Beatrix Potter Museum, Bimblers. But I'm taking the opportunity to visit a church. Who would have thought that? This is St Martin's Church here in Bowness. There's been a church here since 1203. It was originally built as a chapel of ease for a church in Kendal. Can you imagine before 1203? If you lived in Bowness, you'd have to wake up on a Sunday morning, walk to Kendal just to go to church. In 1480, that original church burnt down, and all that was left was the font, the base of the tower, and the doors. So in 1483, they built a new church, this one behind me. But by Victorian times, it needed an MOT, needed doing up a bit. In steps Edward Graham Paley and his mate Hubert Austin. Told her it was all about them round here. Of course, St Martin's Church is Grade 1 listed, but there's something curiously listed here in St Martin's Churchyard. Grade 2 listed. It's the tomb of Rasselas Belfield, a freed slave who died here in Bowness in 1822. He was supposed to be the valet for a Peter Taylor over at Belfield House, hence his surname. Belfield House is, I believe, where Belfield Hotel is these days. If it's not, please comment down below, I'd like to know where it was. Rasselas Belfield was from Abyssinia, which is what we call Ethiopia today. But even more curious than a curiously listed tombstone to a freed slave is the fact that he's buried in the same graveyard as a slave owner and slave trader. That would be a John Bolton. He was born in Ulverston in 1756. When he was a younger man, he moved to Liverpool to become an apprentice at Rawlinson's and Chorley. Whilst he was there, he learnt all about the slave trade, and he went on to own plantations in Guyana and St Vincent and Demerara and St Lucia. In 1833, when they abolished slavery, him and his family had to be compensated by the British government to the tune of £35,240, 13 shillings and 7 old pence. That was for 783 slaves and the lands that they used to tend to. If we adjust for inflation, that's £3.5 million in today's money. He died in Liverpool in 1837 and he was brought here to Bowness to be buried. And thankfully, his grave isn't listed.
No, hands. Thank you.
Rub it in your legs. Had she pooed when you changed it?
Maybe it didn't work at the time, maybe it never did. A mistake that made the distance, or a trying way to live. Maybe it's the time that you grabbed at my arms and electricity flowed from my shoulders to palms in a white hot glow, leaving white cold scars left bare and unshown just to prove they were ours. Maybe it worked, maybe it never did, maybe it never was quite like how it is. Maybe it didn't work at the time, maybe it never did. A novelty improvement left lonely as it gives. Or maybe it's the time that you closed both your eyes and you pouted your lips as you waited for mine in the soft red glow of your soft cold arms. Serotonin burnt holes through my veins to my heart. Maybe it worked, maybe it never did, maybe it never was quite like how it is. Maybe it's the time that I wanted to say that my limbs won't move more than 2 feet away from your day glow side luminescent sparks. I could burst into flames from one beat from your heart. Maybe it worked, maybe it never did, maybe it never was quite like how it is. Maybe it worked, maybe it never did, maybe it never was quite like how it is. And I quite like how it is.
Did you know that Barrow in Furness had the nickname the English Chicago because of how fast the docks built up during the Industrial Revolution? It's also known as the cul-de-sac of Great Britain because you get to the end of the peninsula and then you have to turn back round again. It was all thanks to iron and steel and a fella named Henry Schneider. He opened an iron and steel works because here in Furness they have a lot of hemanite, that's iron oxide, rust that they used to dig out of the ground and make into iron and steel. And because they were digging iron oxide out of the ground and they were right close to the sea, they started building ships and submarines. This is where the nuclear submarines are. At one point, the Barrow Hemanite Steel Company was the largest steel company in the world, and Barrow was set out to be the new Liverpool. It never came to be. It looks a little bit grim these days. Do you know they used to run ferries here up until the 1950s, going off to the Isle of Man and Scotland, and over to Liverpool and Fleetwood? Bring back obscure ferries. Didn't you do Eurovision the other year? Eat your tea cakes. Escaping all the time.
No.
Bye. You saying bye too?
Are you listening? You still won't figure it out. Figure it. With all your thoughts on your mind all the time, oh it's deafening. You still won't figure it out. Figure it. With a simple frame of mind time, you can protest all you like. We both know, with goodwill on your side and a little time, you can have just what you like. We both know things could be easy if you just try. Better off this time. Have it your own way if you like.
We've come to Furness Abbey, Bimblers. It was founded in 1123 by King Stephen. He's one of my favourite kings. It's him and King John. The reason why I like those two is because you only get one of each. There's no King Stephen III or King John IV. There's just King Steve and King John. And I quite like the fact that they've got ordinary names. King Steve, or King Steve, or King Stephen to his mum, was the grandson of William the Conqueror. You know, the fella that did the Doomsday Book of 1086. King Stephen said they needed an abbey here in Furness. And at one point, this was the second wealthiest abbey in the whole of England. The first wealthiest abbey being Fountain Abbey over in Yorkshire. But as I've previously said, this would have all been Yorkshire, according to King Stephen's granddad, William the Conqueror. Anything above the River Ribble. It was all going very well. They were digging out the iron ore and they were raising sheep, which made them very wealthy. That was until Big Henry came along. Henry VIII. 8 Henrys and only 1 Steve and 1 John. Doesn't make sense, does it? Anyway, Big H, he came along and said, we're not having monasteries anymore. I'm marrying loads of birds, 6 of them, and I'm going to knacker that. And in 1537, that's what they did. They destroyed the abbey. which makes it perfect for some ghost stories. Apparently there's 3 ghosts here, a monk, a squire's daughter and a white lady. And local legend says that there's tunnels underneath the abbey that lead off to other abbeys and other castles in the Furness region. And in those tunnels is the Holy Grail and King John's jewels. Sounds very painful.
Big plans are easiest to make. Aim for the stars, it's yours, just wait. You do your best along the way. But it's those arms that told me I don't care if it's yours or mine. Without you it's just a waste of time. You showed me from the start such inspirations need a heart to bring you round. It could be ours. Big aspirations need a heart to hold you, heart to hold you down.
I've tied her out. Just in time for a happy meal, I think. Hopefully I can wake her up so she can eat it.
Do you want it just as it comes, or do you want to
Yeah, just yeah, she'll have everything. Yeah. She likes it all. He likes it all. So let's stop messing about and let's bimble. Let's bimble. How much custard do you reckon you'd need for all them sticky toffee puddings? Let's bimble.